Peace and blessings, everyone. It's your new favorite truth seeker and truth teller back with another one. And as I stated before, I started this channel because I wanted to bring some light to men's mental health, more specifically Black men's mental health. But as I went through, looking for source material and things to discuss, I came to the conclusion I had a lot more to talk about than just men's mental health. And I think that me not being able to discuss the things I have on my mind with people is a part of what contributed to my mental health because I am an intellectual person. But today's topic is the harmful effects of trauma bonding and victimhood mentality in the Black community specifically. In the Black community, we are geared towards living in a state of constant, like, oh, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, I'm a victim, by the things that happen to us, which are the worst in human history in the past, and some of the things that continue to happen to us to this day. We're constantly bombarded on television with just images and things of, of our youth being murdered, us killing each other, our women being brutalized. It's nonstop, and it seems like when one incident is no longer viable, they have something else, And then now I'm noticing on social media what's happening is a lot of things that happened several years ago. The videos are coming out like they're brand new, And the problem with this is, as we've adopted this mentality by design, um, there's no way we could seek or find freedom in this mentality because we're stuck in survival mode. It's akin to like when someone has done something to you and they say to forgive them, so that you're not constantly thinking about that situation to where it takes total control of your thought pattern because the hate is so strong. It's a very similar process. So, we see each other, and the first thing we start talking about are just the wrongs that have been done to us. Which it's important that we understand they happen, and understand how to counteract them things when they try to utilize those tactics against us again in the future. But it's also important for us to let them go and not to dwell in those situations because you cannot be creative with that mind state. You just cannot. You're not going to get free while constantly thinking about, how Trayvon Martin got shot and killed 12, 13 years ago. What happened to Freddie Gray or Eric Gardner or any other Black men and women, Sandra Bland, young lady that got shot with her boyfriend. We cannot be free while we're constantly stuck in that mind state. And that's the reason why they're constantly bombarded us with us, because they know that we're going to be stuck in a constant state of fear. I've seen some other content creators up here, and that's all they talk about. Oh, I got to watch myself when I'm around white people. Like they're scared of white people or something. You could be vigilant, but I think you should take every situation accordingly, because not all white people want to do you bad. Just like not all Black people want to do you bad. Things are on a case by case basis, and you should remain vigilant no matter where you go. You should be able to understand the energy in a room or the energy where you're at, and understand when and how to get out of any given situation. And you should always be prepared to protect yourself at all times, because you never know. But that doesn't mean you should dwell in that mind state, because just think about all the time that we spend consuming this material with the things that have happened to our ancestors, you know, just imagine we spent that time thinking about how we could utilize AI to gain wealth, or how can we use any other plethora of things out here that people are making money off to make money as well. All the conversations we've had with people just sitting there talking about how someone, you see how such and such got killed by the police, you see how such and such got this, such and such, like, what if we discussing, hey, if we say, hey, this happened, we acknowledge it, and then we go into our next phase of movement. Because right now we're stuck on the lowest level of spiritual existence while we're in that victim mentality and we're trauma bonding with each other. We'll never become free, and we will constantly be attracting to us the next thing that is going to keep us victimized. And that's the reason why they're constantly bombarding us with that. You know, now not only are we constantly bombarded with the trauma of what has happened to us, but now we're seeing the trauma that's happening to other people of color that they're constantly bombarding in front of us. People that they're not including us. You know, they're not like, oh, did you see what happened to the black people? The people that came over the border and all that. They're not saying that. You know, we're giving our energy away. And our energy should be squarely on, first and foremost, our children, our families, and then building our communities. And then through building our communities, building a better overall society for ourselves first. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You know, racism is a good thing. I don't mean racism to the point to where you're saying, you know, you're using a race as a tool to hurt others. When I say racism is a good thing, I mean that you look out for your race first, because every other people on this planet are doing that. And I believe I'm going to do another video on that exclusively tomorrow. So I'll leave that subject alone for right now. You know, we need to correct our mentalities, and we need to come forth with a different mind state. And I come forth with this conclusion not by watching everybody else, but by noticing it in myself and all the trials and tribulations I've gone through, and how I've been constantly caught in a victim mentality for a very, very long time. And I was looking for people to bond with that victimhood over the years. You know, it constantly went into every conversation. It constantly would you know, we could have a conversation. I'm starting with people, then I'm just talking about how hurt I was, or, you know, what am I prepared to do about that? Am I going to sit there and keep on dwelling on it, or am I going to do something to lift myself up out of that situation? You know, and I've noticed that just sticking myself or keeping myself in that victim mentality is, I'm right in the situation I'm at today. Not saying I'm in a bad position, but it could be so much more, so much better. I wasted a lot of time just, you know, thinking about all the grievances I had with everyone else around me, all the grievances I had with the situations I've been through, all the grievances I had about, you know, what I thought my parents should do, how I thought my friends should be acting towards me, how I thought the world should be. Then I had to come to the conclusion, like, everybody is not me, and everybody's not going to conduct themselves like I do. I had to change my mind state. And, you know, doing these videos is really helping me to build a better understanding of myself and a better understanding of what I need to do to have a more purposeful driven life that's outside of the past traumas that I've had. And I've had a lot of them. I've had a lot of them. You know, a lot of very serious trauma, and, you know, trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. You know, but if I constantly sit there in that mind state, how could I do anything? You know, I'm not taking that trauma and utilizing it to create something different or create something new like musicians do. You know, a musician will take their trauma and turn it into beautiful music. I'm thinking about the trauma and just creating depression. I'm not using it as a tool in a positive way. So I say that to, because I really, really love and care for my people. But we've got a lot of problems that we need to work out, a whole lot of problems we need to work out. And it's going to start with dialogue. And it's going to start first and foremost with acknowledging the things we went through and not dwelling on them and actually getting out of the victim mentality and trauma bonding, because we're not going to make it anywhere with that type of mentality. We have to stop it. We have to stop the massive psyop or psychological operation that's being used against us, because that's what it is. It's a psychological operation, and it is working to a T. It's working to a T. And that's it for this video. If you found any value in the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave some comments. I would love to do some collaboration with some other people. I think I have something to say. And I think I have a lot more to offer the world. And I would like to do those things. And again, my name is Wise, and I leave you with love, peace, and happiness. And till the next one, peace.